Could what?
Run a marathon.
You could run a marathon. There's
Okay.
two idiots trying to decide what's true. What's fundamentally true about the universe.
Yeah. Well, we got it. Don't worry.
Yeah, he's gonna do math now.
Wait, I'm just gonna show you why. Okay.
But I know why they're bigger.
No, you don't. But you've never seen a proof.
But the proof's not gonna matter to me.
No, it's gonna be interesting.
Okay, fine.
I found it interesting, but I am more of a math person, I guess. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the proof is why there's more numbers between 1 to 2.
Was it probably because the school system ruined math for me?
Yeah, most likely. There's more numbers between 1 to 2 than there are 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here's the proof. So, if these two numbers were the same size, would you agree that there would be a one-to-one link between every number?
I don't.
So if these two are the same size, so for example, let's look at two infinities that are the same size. So here are two infinities that are the same size. 1, 2,
Oh, I've
3,
seen this.
4.
I've seen this. You're gonna go like this, right?
No.
No?
Well, there is going to be a use of diagonal lines at one point or another.
Yeah.
Fuck, but you don't remember it.
Kind of.
Okay. So, you know that 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. to infinity is the same size as 2, 4, 6, 8 up to infinity. Did you know that? So the amount of whole numbers there are is equal to the amount of even numbers there are.
That makes no sense.
I know.
But
But
you don't understand, like,
yeah, you should be
Why?
like, well, there's half as many, right? But no, there's not.
but you say there's not, right? But doesn't anyone ever go beyond that and say, actually, that doesn't make sense, so, like, what the fuck's
Yeah, I'll show you why. So the reason is because for every number you list here, you can find a one-to-one link with a number here. So I'll give you an example. Right, so let's say I make a triangle. So this is on like a standard Cartesian plane. This is the point 0, 0. Right, this is the point 1, 0. This is the point 0, 2. Okay? Does everything make sense so far?
Yeah, even that's, like, assumed, by the way.
What?
This is, like, the Cartesian reality, apparently, is, like,
Well, yeah, it is. It's just to get the point across.
It's
It's not true, it's useful.
Well, this is the thing, like, the fundamental premise of infinity is that it goes on forever.
Yeah.
So, it's like,
So, but this will be the same proof that'll make complete sense to you. So this right here, the number line from 0 to 1. This is all the numbers between 0 to 1, and right here between 0 and 2, this is all the numbers between 0 and 2. Okay. So I'd like you to mark. So you would believe that these aren't the same size, right? You'd believe that there's double as many numbers between 0 and 2 as there are numbers between 0 and 1. But I'm about to prove you wrong. Okay. So pick a number anywhere across the 0 to 1 number line. Just mark a point that you think I won't be able to find a number for between 0 and 2. No, okay. Okay. Put a little mark there. Okay, 0.5. Alright, ready? So that links to one number. Pick another one. Okay, so, boom, that links to exactly one number. Pick anything else. Okay, so that links to exactly one number. So you could pick anything on this number line, right? You could pick right here, that'll link to exactly one number. No matter what number you pick, it'll link to exactly one number every time. So there's no number you could pick on either this number line or on this number line that won't link to exactly one number on the other number line. So therefore, since you can link one-to-one all of these numbers, this is equivalent to the size of this. So now that we've proven this to be true, bro doesn't give a shit.
I don't give two shits because, like,
I'm giving you the diagonal proof anyway. So we can, basically that means we can say that two number sets are the same.
But
if we-
can I just say, one of the fundamental reasons why people take this and go is because people consider numbers to be a fundamental part of reality, and then when that doesn't make any fucking sense, they go, "Whoa, so cool that this fundamental sense of reality
Yeah.
is like." But then, where's that in the material? How,
You know
where's the
another one?
number? Like what? Where's the?
Did you know that? Did you know that this was true?
What is that?
0.99999 to infinity equals 1.
Yeah, but I just like
Did you know that was true?
no.
Does that surprise you? Well, no, because you're not a materials guy. When I
that's
when
not
I
why,
found
that's
it
not,
out,
That's not why. That's
Okay,
not why.
why?
It's more just like I don't care that much about numbers.
okay,
But
fine.
people who care about numbers.
When I found this out, bro, I was pissed off. Like I was like, there's
Yeah,
no.
I'm-
I was like, there is no fucking way.
I'm in a perpetual state of pissed off because what I really think is going on is like the like fundamental axioms aren't fundamentally true in any sense, and that's why they're causing these weird like
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
And it's an abstraction,
Yeah.
just like science, for what matters and what is
Yeah.
helpful.
But the way this was proved to me was so elegant and easy. Like, look, 0.9 repeating equals 1. You're like, okay, well, no, it's not. You're probably going to be like, well, it's actually 0.0001 in between, right? That would equal, you need to add this to get to 1. I thought. You don't care. But you don't.
No, yes, that's true. Yes, I do. I guess.
But you don't. Look
I
at
do,
Look
yeah,
at this.
I
Look
get
at
it.
this. 0.333. What does that equal?
Not one. Sure.
1/3. Agreed?
Yeah.
Okay. Ready?
Wait, that's not. Oh yeah. Yeah. I got that.
If you agree with this, then you can't not agree with this.
Yeah, I got that. But like again, see, this is why I'm not like I need a mathematician here because like I'm like okay, why is this that this rule must be like wrong?
No, it's just that 0.99 repeating does equal 1.
Yeah, or this rule is wrong where like the anything you multiply on this side has to be multiplied equally on the other.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell me why that's like has to be a thing?
Well, for them to remain true. For that equation to remain true, you need to do the same thing to both
right.
sides.
So for this to remain true, this which is one thing has to be equal to this other thing that's a different thing.
Well, it's a different representation of the same thing.
Which is what?
Well, this is a different representation of the same thing, so this also must be a different representation of the same thing. This is decimal form, and this is fraction form.
Ah.
Okay.
No. That's
No, I can't say that.
Wait, so yeah, this is decimal form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1.0.
Yeah.
Well, that's another way of. Well, okay, here, I'll give you another example. 1 equals 1.0 equals 1.00. All three of these are decimal form.
Yeah.
And they're written differently, but they still all mean the same thing.
Yeah, but this is a 0. And he does weird shit.
Okay, fair point.
That's what I was saying. Like, the fact that this equals this, and we can understand that this is a different thing than this.
It's not a different thing, though. It's the
So
same
you
thing.
can understand that it like.
No, it's the same thing. This, it's the same way that this is different than this.
Okay, what is this? All of this plus the same amount of like numbers. Point one.
0.00.
Yeah.
Well, wait, plus 0.11111?
Whatever the
Or 0.000?
Yes. Yeah. What? Yeah.
It's the same
One
number.
at the end.
Because 0.0 to infinity would never reach 1 at the end. So this number, in fact, this number is actually the same as 0, which also blew my mind. So this is like an infinitesimal. That's the same size as 0. Unless, see, but this is what really bothered me. It's the same size as 0 unless you use it in a limit. Then it's not. So if you do, look, if you do this really pissed me off. Like when I learned about this, I was done. So the limit, you know what limits are?
Kind of.
Okay, so limits as x approaches 0.
Like I learned how to do this. I didn't know what it meant.
Here, so I'll do this.
It's the power function. Right?
So limit as x approaches infinity. Yeah, this is how you make, this is the number e, which is like 2 point something. Right, so you have this equation. So if you have this equation without, if you just have this, 1 plus 1 over x, no power, and you have this as the limit approaches infinity. This is really easy, right? 1 plus 1 over infinity. 1 over infinity is 0, so it's just 1. The second you have this, even though you're going to be like, well, 1 plus 1 over infinity is 1 to the infinity power is still 1. What?
Nothing, listen.
This is not equal to 1 to the infinity power. It's equal to 2 point, whatever the fuck, 2.24 or whatever. That pissed me off on that.
Alright, yeah, again.
Because this is only 0 if this isn't here. I'm like,
Yeah, but again, I'm making this point. Right? The only reason you think this matters, or that this is mind-blowing, is because you know that in all the other cases that numbers are used everywhere in the world,
yeah.
they work, and they work like
Without
in a way that you
contradiction,
can
yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
and like so they're part of reality to you. You wouldn't argue that.
Yeah.
Where's the number, bro?
Yeah.
Like I don't where. What?
Yeah.
One. Second, all this shit. There are contradictions in that. I don't know them. We'll go down.
Well, yeah, it's not complete. It's not decidable.
It can't.
And you know, no, I've watched that full Veritasium video. They couldn't even prove that it was consistent. So my whole thing about caring about consistency, they can't prove that math is consistent.
Right. So perhaps what's
Like they proved that they can never know that math is consistent.
so what? Perhaps what's true is what matters.
Yeah, that is
Start
convincing
thinking.
in that
Bro,
context.
I've been thinking about it. Like, and I want to read the.
Wait,
I want to read the.
I'm showing you the
scientists-
infinity proof.
Because Richard Dawkins heard all of this, right? And he was like, well, some things are true. Evolution is true. And he didn't press play. So.
This is proving that, I still need to prove this one, that the numbers between 1, or no, I'll say the numbers between 0 and 1 are greater than all the whole numbers. So ready? Here we'll have a list of all the whole numbers, so 1 going down to infinity. And then for each number, I'll write a number between 0 and 1. So for the first one, we'll write 0.2736, ... Next one, we'll write 3824, ... Whatever the hell.
I wish I could call Rashika here, honestly. Because she'd be way more excited to talk about this stuff with you than I am.
Okay, whatever. So here are all, right here we have a pair of one-to-one linkings between every, between every whole number and every number between 0 and 1. Right, so we have a one-to-one link between all of them, all the way down to infinity. Agreed?
But what does that mean?
It means that for every number here,
This is 0.27?
Yeah.
Okay.
so these are all the numbers between 0 and 1, and these are all the numbers between 1 and infinity, and you have a one-to-one link with all of them. Okay, ready? Now I'm about to prove that you don't have a one-to-one link with all of them. I'm going to write a decimal, and it's never going to have been written before. So I'm going to take this decimal, and I'm going to add 1 to it. So now I know for sure it's different than this linkage.
That's
Do you agree?
not 1, right? That's So it's like
Sorry, add 0.1 to it, yeah. I'll increase that decimal place by 1. Then I'm going to take this decimal, and I'm going to increase that one by 1. So now I know for sure it's different than this one too, right? So I'm going to go down, 9 goes to a 0. So now it's different than 3. Oh, let me add another number. 2, 3, another 0, ... Do this with all the numbers down, as you said, in the diagonal, down to infinity. And since I got a number that is different in every decimal place than every number from before, I've created a number that is entirely new and is not linked to any of the other numbers from
I have a question.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5
It
to
might be a
infinity.
dumb question.
Yeah,
But like the 0.1 you add here
yeah.
doesn't carry over.
No, it's the I'm not adding it. I'm just changing this decimal. The reason I just did, yeah, I'm not adding one. I'm just saying we could also subtract one from over. The point is that it needs to be a different number than this number, and you can guarantee it's different by changing at least one of the decimal places. So if I just change at least one of the decimal places in all of these numbers, then I have an entirely new number that's never been created in the set of all infinite numbers
Yeah,
that's
it's
already
cool. I mean,
linked.
it's cool if I didn't have it to state in the math.
Yeah.
It is cool. It is cool.
I thought that was a pretty elegant proof.
No, this, well, yeah, but I just don't know what to do.
But proof doesn't mean true.
But
No, I'm kidding. It's the reverse.
What?
True doesn't mean provable.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
How did you get to that?
Because you want to be able to prove everything, but you can't. Because Gödel said so.
Right, exactly. So, how can the materialist understanding of what is true be the only correct understanding of what's true?
Yeah. Me, because we can prove it, except we can't.
Exactly. Can I just show you the
Yeah, materialists. Oh, it's because we can prove it, except for the times when we can't prove it.
And
Well, I'm
also,
gonna pretend that those
we
times
can't
don't
prove them ever. This,
Yeah.
again, this is what I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
and the fact that we're consistent is we've proven that we can't know whether we are able to be consistent,
But I mean-
and that we're not decidable.
I mean, maybe scientists disagree, but I think most scientists would consider numbers as more fundamental reality than as if
Harry
mathematicians would. Not Harry
No,
Potter, but I
okay.
meant a causal thing that we're sure will happen. As a, and even that's incomplete.
Yeah.
When I
Wait, but I felt like once I heard that Gödel's thing, once I rewatched that video today, I was like, wait. So why should I use math? But it still works.
yes, exactly.
So how is
It's
that
useful.
possible?
It's true because it's power. It's a powerful. It's a powerful abstraction. But are there things wrong in the world?
Bro, how can things be true but not provable? How can you know? I don't
That's
understand.
literally the
I
question the
know.
physicist I told you is trying to figure out right now, and a bunch of others too. That consciousness. That it seems like consciousness is the answer, because we can understand that it's true without proof. Isn't that fucking
That's
amazing?
pretty crazy.
When I found Gödel's theorem, God. And you know what I found?
You were
Do
like,
remember-
"Thank you, something in math that agrees with me."
No, but do you remember that time when I was freaking out in the gym, right, we were boxing
Yeah.
or whatever? I found it a few hours after that.
Really?
Yeah. And I can actually tell you really what was going on then. It's actually pretty funny if you want to, but it's not relevant to the actual thing. If you want to.
You can tell me.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop recording just for this part maybe. Or okay, never mind. That's. So, for some reason at that time, I was really bothered by the idea, and it was this idea now, but I didn't fully realize it because I wasn't thinking about all these concepts fully. But the idea that all fundamental reality can be captured by materialist thinking. and that was really like brought on because at that time, like that was like around when I was getting closer to Rashika, and I don't know what was bothering me, but like something I was like, I need to like somehow prove that like rationality and materialism are not the only things in the universe that like matter and are like real. And I don't know what I was trying to do, and then I found it too.
And then the YouTube algorithm recommended me a video.
Yeah, right. So I was listening to that, and like a few minutes before he got to that point, I realized what the real problem was. Like, I liked a girl, she didn't like me back, and I was trying to like change the universe.
Existential crisis. It can't be material, bro. It can't be.
Well, it's more like because we keep.
Bro, that would be like an epic story of the way that like it was discovered. It's like imagine like 10,000 years from now they look back at like Manu the philosopher and it was like he proved this whole thing because a girl broke up like didn't like him back
And couldn't. No, it's not even did.
Yeah.
Couldn't.
And he couldn't.
That's where I was like.
He couldn't believe that this could be possible. So he.
Well, I don't see, but I don't see the exact connection. Like I thought about it then, but I don't really see what it is now. It's something like I was trying to like, because at the time I thought she was a lot more pure, rational materialist than she is. I mean, she is mostly, but like, yeah, but yeah, and so.
I'm glad it's 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're sticking to a solid sleep schedule here.
No, but well, so pragmatism.
Yeah, but I still don't see how just because it's useful means it's true.
I don't think it's just that.
I don't see how it being useful makes it more true.
Well, it's more the like thing of like, well, okay,
But with
either
math,
nothing's
the
true,
fact
or
that-
that's the only like.
I feel like that could make sense because with math, we just showed that something can be true without being provable.
Right.
Which basically means it can be true without us being able to demonstrate why.
Right.
And I'm like, well, why do we still use it then? And the answer is because it's useful.
Exactly.
And we treat math as the truest thing that we have,
Exactly.
basically. But that doesn't mean it.
One of them. Well, a lot of people say three different things is true, but we'd call them idiots.
Yeah. Is that just our egocentric bias?
No, I was
But
pointing
like-
to the people you called idiots.
Oh, religious individuals
Uh-huh.
who believe in fiction, who believe in the tooth fairy.
Well,
Yeah, they're dumb
well-
as fuck.
Well, if
No, but if my thing isn't even true, it's just useful, then how can I shit on them for having a thing that's not true but
But do you
useful
remember
too?
when I was like?
Yeah, how can I?
But
yeah.
do you remember when? Do you remember what the question I was like trying to answer?
No.
Like from the beginning of when
Free
we started
will?
having these. The actual question that I was trying to.
Oh
answer.
yeah, our story's real. Bro, don't say it out loud.
Right. No, but well.
Does that prove it? Or well,
No, but
I prove that you can't prove something true.
True. Are they true? Well,
So therefore, any statement I say goes.
well,
Because you can't.
that's
since
what,
I don't need to prove that it's true, since you can't prove
see,
it.
that's what we want to avoid. But
No, but you
here's the
can't.
interesting-
You can prove something's true. You just can't prove the whole system true. You can't make
No,
a system
Like what?
based on the axioms. You can prove things from the axioms.
Okay, my axiom is that stories are
Okay.
true. It's like, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, what is the axiom based on? But again, this is why I wanted to dig into.
Reasonable
How long have
assumption.
you been?
No,
what is that?
there were 4.
Oh, okay. I was like, why is this an infinite like?
Bro has an infinite sugar glitch.
Yeah, exactly. No, so I want to explore pragmatism, right? Because I want to show you this quick like clip from the JP documents because he's gone. All my ideas come from JP.
Yeah. Bro has
No,
no original thought
like,
ever.
but it's interesting. Like he just planted that seed. And I was like, okay, let me like I can think through this. This is useful.
Useful.
No, but it's weird. Like I abandoned that question, the whole this our story is a real question. Thinking about it, when I started having like problems, and like in a roundabout way now, I've come to because I'm not saying this is it, but I'm saying like.
Bro, I gotta bring this up with the kids at
Explain
juggling
this.
club who are like math PhDs.
Yeah. No, I tried to.
How pissed are they gonna
So
be
I
when
wanted
they
to
fi-
talk to-
when their civilian that hasn't studied math comes to them and tells them that their whole system is not.
So can we prove it though?
Yeah,
Like.
yeah. They're like, whoa, excuse me, like I swear they're gonna defend it so hard. They're gonna fix like math.
I
so
sent an email to this guy that was my faculty advisor. Like, do you remember the beginning? What at the beginning? We had it? So my guy was this guy who was like a math.
Yeah, my one was a math person too. It wasn't the same person. Mine was
Okay,
a-
well, he's like published books. He's like very renowned in the math field, and so I sent him an email for the podcast. He was like, "Can't do it, buddy. Too busy." But you can come in for 15 minutes for like sign-up hours, and I never went. But I might go just to like try and get a better understanding of this. But you
Well-
might go, math is real. I just don't know how, or some shit. I don't know.
I tried to make
I don't think it's gonna get
like a resolution to like talk to more of my professors, and I emailed my accounting professor to just ask for advice with my juggling with tax management on my juggling business. And bro said sure, Friday at 1, and I was like, could you do any later? And bro just didn't respond.
No.
He's like, I'm not even sure if I could help you to be honest, but potentially. How about Friday Zoom at 1?
You could have said any other time.
Well, I said, could you do later that day?
Oh,
And then he just didn't respond. So
damn. Maybe
okay.
send one more.
it's okay. He wasn't that good of a
But
professor
maybe,
anyway.
maybe send one more email.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just an,
No,
it's just an ego
this
thing.
is the beginning of the year.
It's just an ego thing if you don't send one more email.
No, he thinks he's egoing me by not responding.
Egoing you?
Yeah, it's like a gaming term, I guess.
Okay, but like,
How's that kick?
terrible. I think I don't know how to kick, but the mechanic is like it's the same thing as like a punch. Right? Like you want to twist your hip into it, and you want to think about like pulling your body back instead.
I'm
of,
just not flexible enough, bro. Like I
You need to
can't.
do a low kick.
Yeah, but what's the point of kicking the shins? I know. No, it actually hurts so badly.
A lot.
It hurts so
A
fucking
lot.
badly. It's crazy.
No, like 2 or 3. That's what I'd want to learn out. Well, no, yeah.
Bro, can we just do jujitsu?
We should.
Like, already?
Now.
Not this second.
Doing boxing?
Not this second, but.
Plans to do it?
Low
I'll
key.
start fucking really going on my knees then.
No, low key, I do want to just get into jujitsu.
Okay, good.
Soon.
Okay, good.
Like, I'm kind of getting a little bit sick of boxing
Interesting.
and getting like. I'm sick of getting like hit. You know what I mean? Like,
I felt that. from
I
last
just-
semester, but
I just like I feel
I
like
enjoy it still, but.
some like even when I enjoy it still, like I want to look forward to like I want to be able to look forward to
Okay.
whatever exercise I do every time, and like sometimes I'm just like, "Oh, dude, like I don't want to like do this like fucking high intensity
Fair, fair.
hitting hit today.
Fair. And I won't take, like, it's actually just feedback and, like, how to change it, but, like, did you feel that even with, like, our sparring sessions?
I mean, yeah, but like not because it's our sparring session, but just because
No,
I would have felt it with any
yeah.
sparring session.
Yeah, I know.
But
I'm
yeah.
saying even with.
Sometimes. No, sometimes I would go in and I would be like, I'd be feeling good. Like, I'd be wanting to get hit. But then other days I'd be like, alright.
Because I'm wondering if we don't need to stop it completely in terms of, like, maybe we can still, like.
No, we don't, but I just want a thing that I can definitely do and feel
Right, yeah, no, I fully get that, yeah.
feel like excited going into
I
it,
know.
no matter
I
what.
fully
You know?
get that. Yeah.
Like lifting, I feel like I'm always excited to do no matter what. Boxing, I'm like, I still like it when I'm doing it, but like
No, it's fair.
sometimes.
It's fair. Like, but I'm very convinced that like we're fine in terms of the brain damage.
Yeah, I am too. Even if
There's so many fighters, full-on fighters, that are very coherent,
yeah,
and like we're not even doing 1%,
yeah.
not even one. But yeah, I want to get into jiu-jitsu, and having a friend there would be awesome. But I need to fucking fix my knees more.
Have you been? What's it called?
Not really. Like here and
Have
there.
you been knees over toesing?
Here and there. The free will thing really got in the way. Like, I'm not gonna lie. This shit is not good.
Not like you had a choice, but
This is
not
like,
like you had a choice in
this is
letting
like,
it get in the way.
this is like, giving suicide advice to like someone who's been suicidal. It's like, bro.
Hello, everyone. A while back, and that would be November of 2021, I had the distinct pleasure of having a discussion with Dr. Richard Dawkins, who, apart from
Richard
being an
Dawkins.
esteemed evolutionary biologist and theorist, is also one of the world's
Oh,
foremost.
did you know about the New Atheist?
The new age, is that a book?
No, so it was this like fucking high school club of Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris,
I gotta see how
Peter
many
Hitchens,
views Mr. Beast.
36 million views in
Peter
15
Hitchens
hours.
and Daniel Dennett. These guys went on like a world tour. Them bought
In high school?
Shitting. No, I was like making fun
Oh.
of them. Like it's like the
Oh,
internet IDW. But they were an actual fucking like the IDW was just
Like they would just go to like countries and destroy religion.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what they were. They were called the Four Horsemen.
That's funny.
No, look up the Four Horsemen.
Dude, Mr. Beast is
New
actually gonna beat T-Series. Like I
Which is amazing.
can't believe it.
Honestly, though, like it
The
doesn't feel the
subscriber
same.
gap was 23
It
million.
doesn't feel the same as PewDiePie and what like that was.
Why?
Because PewDiePie embodied like what YouTube used to be. Like there's not much difference between Mr. Beast today and like a highly produced TV show.
I think there is.
I don't think so.
He literally said he tried to hire people in Hollywood and couldn't because they didn't know what the difference between YouTubing and Hollywood was.
No, I'm not saying it's the same thing. I'm saying there's not the difference of like what YouTube used to be. I think YouTube has evolved to something like the highly produced nature of it is not the same as like Felix sitting in a room going, "Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa."
Dude, I made a YouTube video with my editor on why it's illegal to trade onions, and someone commented, "Lol, I don't know why I watched this with 0 views and released 13 hours ago, but thanks for the random useless information with great editing."
The onions thing.
Yeah, no, but it's actually look at my channel. It's actually a very nice video.
Yeah, I'll look at it. I mean,
No,
I
check
watch
it out.
most of your videos.
Check now, buddy.
I'm like the 1 view out of like 5.
It was honestly basically just a voiceover with like really pretty decent visuals. That's it.
Did you do that yourself?
No, my editor. Here, look.
A loophole so powerful that it can make you 100 million.
Isn't that pretty cool?
A loophole so exploitable that the government had to add new laws so that no one could abuse it ever again. A loophole that was entirely based around onions. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. And in this video, we're going to get to the bottom of why it's illegal to trade onions in the United States.
How was the editing like that? Can I like learn from your
I
slave?
want you to
Yeah,
imagine what
I can refer you.
Well, he's gonna want money.
I mean, you're paying $80K to learn whatever you're learning here. I think you can afford another spare
Like,
$10.
the point is like I don't want
You spare $10 here and there for a skill that's actually useful.
I'm already at the breaking point
Of what?
with the 80K.
Anything 1 cent more and I'm done and I'm cooked.
No, but actually, when you made that point, it is like a good way of thinking about like anything that is making you like
No,
a decent
yeah.
amount uncomfortable. You really shouldn't like hesitate to spend money on because you want to maximize your time here.
Bro.
Because you've already spent the 80K.
No, but also just think about it like, okay, I guess the difference is for me on
it's still more money on top of the 80K.
but it's not even the problem that it's more money. The problem is that it's your parents' money.
Yeah, well,
That's the problem.
Yeah,
I'm paying for it out of pocket, and so I don't give a shit. And I bet if you had,
You're not paying for school, right?
Oh no, sorry, his edit.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly.
And
No,
learning.
of course.
So if you were paying out of pocket, and if you had 10
But
grand,
if I-
if
if
you
I
had
was
10 grand of your own money, bro, you would 100% pay for that.
Yes, I think so. But this is the thing.
But I don't. But
my
that's
mom
what I
wants me
realized.
to get a part-time job this semester, and
I want you to just use gift money or something, bro. Like, you should be able to, like, when you're gonna
I have
get,
$500 of gift money.
bro, use it. Like, when you're gonna get that high of an ROI on actually spending your money, it's 100% worth it.
That's 18 views.
Well, that's one video.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, so I got 500 videos with 18 views.
the ROI is the skill that you're learning,
Yeah.
not the views.
I agree.
Like, you don't think you could get paid more than whatever your part-time job would be if you had those good that good of editing skills.
What good of it?
Like, that good of editing skills. 100% whatever part-time job you
Because
do.
that paid you 18 views.
No, because he's from Packet. Bro. That's not because the editing was bad that it paid me 18 views. But plus, I uploaded it today. Like,
You think that's gonna earn you money?
the video?
Yeah.
Probably not. But it's
Yeah.
not about,
I agree with you.
it's the fact that I paid
I agree
him
with-
to
I
edit my
agree
video. Okay, so then what
Then you
counting
tell me
on
else.
me?
Well, well, first of all, I think she wants me to get a part-time job more than just the money. It's just like work experience might actually be good for me, which I want to at least try it.
Do you also want to be a script writer for me?
I would, but like yesterday showed me that I'm not good at the like mechanistic approach to it. But I could try.
Okay, because
Because that'd be a lot better than
I
the editing
think
thing.
the one downside is that some of the ideas I have require some research. I don't know if that's a problem.
Not particularly.
Okay, 'cause,
But
like-
again, let me see what like.
Here, I'll show you the one I gave to the guy who asked the script write. I said, all right, so the first script idea I have for you is what is the average IQ of a rich person? So this one requires some research, but I think it'll make a good video.
Do you like? What if I just chat GPT that? No.
It probably wouldn't be good. But I gave him I gave him a little more
Because
context.
I know he doesn't.
But I gave him a little more context. I said, because on the one hand, I think something like 80% of millionaires have bachelor's degrees, but I also feel like some smart people don't take any risks and therefore don't succeed. Like the A students work for C students idea. The hook maybe could be, so there's this idea that A students work for C students, but is it actually true?
What's the A student, C student thing?
So it's an idea, it's like an idea of business that propagates everywhere. Is that like A students often get decent paying jobs, but they often are stuck working for C students, which are like
Oh,
people who-
C grades.
Yeah.
And what's the theory? Like why?
Because A students never take risks. They only follow instructions, so they're destined for better than averageness. You see what I mean? Never greatness.
I mean, but I'm sure like half the C's are just doing nothing.
Yes, that is what I'm trying to see, but that's what I would want a script about, like something like that.
Create a script about.
No, but don't do that because my editor's doing that. Here, I'll give you
No,
that.
well, what if I ask ChatGPT to make a script?
Oh, okay, sure.
And just tell you that.
If it's good, I mean, I'd be surprised if it was good.
No, because I'd use that.
But
as
I'm
a
a
start.
very-
What really I would do is use that as a starting point.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care. I genuinely don't care what you do. Even if you found a way to just use ChatGPT with it and make a good script, I don't care.
Yeah, fair.
I just doubt
Yeah,
it.
give me you want, I'll play around with it when I like have time.
Type of beat. Okay.
That aspect.
Oh.
It's like, well, why not? Why not?
This is a long video. What is rich? How much money do you need to be rich? And I would analyze it from the study about people saying they rate double their net worth is rich versus the idea that rich is more than your brother's.
Sorry,
Wait.
I wasn't listening. Go ahead.
So the question is, how much money is rich? And there's so many different interesting ways you could look at that. You could look at like global, what does it take to be in the top 1% globally? Which wasn't it like 30,000 a year or something? Yeah, so that would be an interesting thing. Or is it just
Then
percent?
what about history?
Yeah, or history could be interesting.
Yeah.
Like,
What about,
time, are we in a time period?
do you want to
where
bring
we're
in the psychology thing of like how much money it means to be happy?
Exactly. Yeah, that too. That would be another. That would probably be its own separate video. But it would be like, does money actually buy happiness?
Yeah.
And how they had that initial study that said after 75K a year it
Yeah.
doesn't, and then they were like, actually it might.
Yeah, and they're not sure.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest thing in the world. What? I mean, surely the second one means that even if a few people can, like, so it's just subjective and these metrics don't mean anything and psychology is a sham? Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't.
But there's also another two ways of looking at it. Like you could look at it at the perceptive point. So like that stat I said that people always say rich or like the amount of money they need to be satisfied is double whatever their current net worth is. Or comparing that with the idea that rich is more, I forget the stat, but it's like more than your sister's than your wife's sister's husband.
Right. Then your wife's sister, husband.
And then I think there's the practicality of
But
what.
then again, money isn't real, right?
Yeah, or that's another good video. Is money, or like just the banking system, and money isn't real. But you know what? I'm gonna remake that video about. I told you about the town that treated money as a totem pole.
No.
Okay. I wonder if you'll find this interesting because I know you don't care about money, but this is still.
No, I find it. Well,
Okay.
I mean, I care about how it affects society, and I
Okay.
care about making.
This is fascinating. So I'm sure.
I don't think there's any way I don't care about money at all.
Okay, fine. I don't know if it's your number one interest though.
No.
It's not. Yeah. Whatever. So I'm sure you know that. Like, I'm sure you know that. Like, you know, everyone knows that. Like, okay, money itself doesn't have any value. It's just that we trust it, right? But
What does it mean for something to have value?
that we all agree that it has value.
So then it has value.
Okay, fine. The point is, like, okay, it doesn't matter the terminology there. I'm just saying, the point is that it only works because we all agree that the pieces of paper are valuable, even though the pieces of paper, aside from everyone agreeing that it is, wouldn't actually have any value. But a house, even if other people disagreed that the house was valuable, you would still be able to use it. Like, you would still want it. You know what I mean? Anyway, the question is, like, does money, okay, it's like, okay, at first you're like, okay, well, money.
It's kind of like saying money doesn't have value when it doesn't have value.
I know. Okay, whatever. I shouldn't have even prefaced it. The point is there was this
Because that's an
fucking.
interesting thought, right? Like people think about that. Like people say that, you know, money doesn't actually have any real value, and it's like, what does that mean?
I know. Well, because value.
But isn't that a cool video? Like
That's a cool video.
Because
Well, I think value. When people say value versus perceived value, there's that distinction technically doesn't exist.
no, but also it's an English thing here, where they're equating value in the sense of like monetary value with value in the sense of like
Goodness.
not even that, like utility.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so the like
Yeah. And
monetary
when a painting's worth $15 million, you gotta put into question.
No, but it's also the thing of like once you say, oh, money doesn't have monetary value because it creates monetary value, it doesn't have any value. It's like which value?
Yeah.
That's
Okay, that's an interesting video on its own. But anyway, the example is this fucking tribe on an island, and tribes trade different stuff other than money, like normally like shells or something. This one tribe in particular basically traded ownership of this like statue. So it was a small enough town where they could basically, yeah, okay. It was a small enough town where they could basically just say, oh, Bob owns the statue and now he wants some wheat, so he's going to trade the ownership of the statue to Sam, and now everyone in the town knows that Sam owns the statue, and they keep trading that along to everyone else. Right?
What if someone wants a medicine from someone who doesn't have the totem pole?
Yeah, I think it's just small enough and trades occurred often enough that it would get to the
It has to
person.
be like
Like it would get to the person by the end of that day probably, so they could, I don't know. I don't even know,
It's
but
interesting.
I don't even know, but that's not what's interesting yet. What's interesting is that their town like flooded, or they had to take a boat or something, so they tried to relocate. But on the way, the ship that had the totem pole on it sank. And then they washed up on like a new island, and they lost the totem pole.
Yeah.
So what do you think happened?
They made a new one.
No, they kept trading ownership of the old one, even though it had sank.
Yeah. Well, it's effectively the same thing.
I know, but
My point was
that
they just kept
okay, yeah, but that blew my mind. Like even to the point like that, it was at the point where like years later that thing probably disintegrated. Like there was probably nothing at the bottom of the ocean eventually that you could even redeem. Like even if you try to pull the statue out, it might have all literally disintegrated. Yet they still traded it. Yet they still traded ownership of it.
I find it more interesting that that's somehow mind blowing for you. Because to me, the statue always represented the concept of the statue.
But I always thought inherently that like if the thing didn't even exist, then people would have to like. I thought even though everyone is agreeing on something to be valuable, that humans wouldn't be able to like bring themselves to agree that this thing is valuable if it literally didn't exist. But literally at that point, the statue is gone. There is you're not transferring ownership of anything. It's not even that you're transferring ownership of something useless.
Right.
You're not transferring ownership of anything.
Because materialist reality.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a good thing for you. You're like, well, then what is real? Like,
Well, what matters and what's
Yeah.
useful is real. No, but I mean, dude, like, it's like, fuck. It's like, would you could try and, you can try and, like,
Post hoc rationalization.
no, but you can try and, like, rationalize this and try and argue with it, but, like, I truly believe that everyone that's, like, living life knows this isn't just words.
What's real? Matter. If you don't have a lofty ambition, what's real? Matter. So, okay, that's one answer. What's real? What matters is real. That's how you act. That's different than matter. What's the most real of what matters? How about pain? Why is it the most real? Try arguing it away. So pain is the fundamental reality. Doesn't that lead to nihilism and hopelessness? Yeah, doesn't it lead to a philosophy that's antithetical towards being? The most fundamental reality is pain. Yes. Is there anything more fundamental than pain? Really? You're in pain. Love and truth. That's what you got. And if they're more powerful than pain, maybe they're the most real things. Because if you're a scientist or materialist, think, well, the matter's the most real. It's like, well, you don't know what the matter is. Like, push comes to shove, and it will. You'll find out what's most real. What's real?
Yeah,
Matter.
that's a good point.
Answer.
That's a really good point.
But I didn't know what point he was making until I got all of this
that makes
organized.
sense. Yeah, I think it's funny how like
Because I listened to this a year ago.
every time the person said it, like every time someone's like, how do we know we're not in the simulation? It's like, it's like, so yeah, maybe the pain is a good argument of what's.
I didn't even realize.
Oh yeah, that's
I
the
thought
point.
you were
Yeah.
saying that like you're sick of them. So
No, I'm saying the person that says, well, what if we're in a simulation? The second I fucking,
got it now.
you're not gonna be like, you're not gonna try to, like you said, you're not gonna argue that one away. Like,
Yeah,
you're not gonna post-rationalize that one, buddy.
You want a better one?
What?
Like the love of your life walks in and like you get started.
Yeah.
It's like I'd rather have that one. And I think I'd be more distracted by that one. It's pain of this laugh. But anyway,
I thought you were saying that
Richard Dawkins.
is that which is beneficial in my
Were they in the person?
no, yeah, well they were, but they only did
Oh,
audio.
you did a voice memo type of beat.
Yeah, it's weird.
arguing with your colleagues whether to tell this patient the truth. You could very well argue, shall we tell him or shall we not? It would be beneficial not or beneficial to, but everybody should agree that it is true that this man has cancer.
Yeah, wait, what is he gonna respond to
No,
that?
but I don't. He doesn't, which I'm annoyed by it because I think he didn't want to. But I understand it, right? Like, but I tell Dawkins, you don't know, like it is not true in an absolute sense. But I know he's not going to take me seriously after that.
Dawkins?
If I tell him that causality is not true, he's not going to take me
Yeah,
seriously.
it's honestly really ironic how scientists will die on.
They're dogmatic.
They will die on
Science is
cause and
dogma.
effect, except for when the Big Bang happened. Then they're like, well, how did that happen? Well, I don't know. Okay,
yeah, I didn't think about that.
so then how do you know cause and effect is true? Because it worked in every other time. Yeah, but what about the one time where it didn't?
I didn't even think about that.
Well, we just can't explain it yet.
Right.
Okay, well, then maybe it's not
assuming
true.
that it's gonna happen. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
It's like, well, if it was cause and effect, then what was the first thing that ever happened?
Yeah. But-
Infinite loop.
yeah, actually, isn't that a good answer?
I guess that is a
It's
pretty
not
good answer.
provable. It's not proven though. Like we don't know that for sure, do we?
I guess that is a pretty good answer, but then you can say, well, what? Well, I always get caught in this, but then it's like, well, what
Yeah.
started the infinite loop? But it's like that question.
Can Matt answer
That's the
that?
same thing as no, but saying what started the infinite loop is the same question when you reach the North Pole as asking how do I go further north? It just doesn't make sense. I really like that analogy that I saw that guy get, because I can, even when I say like, okay, well, fine, well, what finally started it though? That makes as little sense as saying, well, when does the universe finally end? How do you know it ends?
Oh, where?
Right.
This is right. Because we're looking at the Big Bang as a start, but it's really not.
Yeah, how do you know it's not just a?
Well, no. If it's infinite, we know it's not the start.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So, and they're like, well,
Why do we think it's a start?
because we don't know what came before.
Right.
But this is what I never understood. Or I used to think this, and then I realized that's dumb, and I never understood why people still think it now. Is that they can easily fathom that the universe doesn't have a specific end, but they can't fathom that the universe didn't have a specific start.
But I don't think everyone can fathom.
No, but okay, fine, not everyone. But people I talk to sometimes, I'm like, well, what happened before the Big Bang? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, what do you think about this infinite loop theory? And they're like, yeah, but what started the infinite loop? I'm like, that's not a
I don't think scientists are like that.
I'm like, that's not a contradiction. Like, if you think that the world might not have an end, then it's
No, but what started the infinite loop is I mean, that's just the premise invalidates that question.
yeah, because if it's an infinite loop, then nothing started.
Yes.
It was always going
And
on.
you just can't fathom it.
Yeah, but you can fathom that something wouldn't end. I feel like easier.
Because of numbers.
You know why? Because I feel like
No, because
because
of numbers.
I also feel like it's because of inertia, actually. Because people can fathom how something could continue forever, but not how it could have arisen from
Right.
For, you know what I mean?
But again, those are scientific concepts that we understood. Are they really baked into our evolution? I'm not sure. I don't know.
or is what?
Like inertia, for example. Is it because everyone?
But we're familiar with
Is
the
it because
idea that
every-
things. But we're familiar that something won't change, like cause and effect. We believe that nothing will change unless something causes it to change. So the universe wouldn't stop unless something causes it to stop. But by that we would. I guess that's why we wouldn't.
But isn't that
I guess that's why it makes sense that it
everyone
wouldn't
that would
end,
start
but it
thinking about
would.
the Big Bang would learn concepts like gravity and in a vacuum, like the laws of motion, like if something like is in motion, it won't in a vacuum. It won't stop unless something stops it. Type beat. Like you learn all that stuff.
Yeah, well,
Or
you're
is it
taught
like-
cause and effect in school. Well, I wasn't,
Right.
but standard that you are.
Well, you
That's
learn,
like a-
well, you
that's
also
like a-
just learn it.
That's like a true
Well,
theory.
you also just learn it in experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Then you learn that not all correlations are
Yeah.
causations, but really the causation.
But really
is
not
just a
all
really
causations
good
are
correlation.
causations,
It's
yeah.
just a really good correlation.
With a biological mechanism to explain it too.
What do you mean?
Like, I think for a true causation to be established, you need correlation and a good reason.
Yeah, but it's still not true causation.
Well, yeah. But nothing ever is. But yeah.
It might be, but
Well, your
you
best-
can't prove it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But your best odds are finding something that
Has a really high correlation and
Yeah.
is something that would make sense that it would cause it.
But people find causations that don't make sense and still treat them as causal.
I mean, it depends what they are, but like, there's a website that lets you do this. Like, it lets you it gives you two random stats that are extremely correlated, but random ones. These, like the amount of.
Right, but that's not
But
the
I think
kind of
most people
causation that
would
I'm
say-
talking about, like scientific causation.
Yeah, so I think most people would say though, if there's a reason that would make sense for the correlation,
But that's
for
not
one thing to
enough.
cause the other thing. Like for
In
example.
fact, that's actually what causes.
No, I saw a minute physics video on this. So, for example, one way you can start eliminating wrong correlations is by just seeing order of events. So, like, if you did, like, you know how sometimes people are like, oh, well, how do you know the first thing caused the second thing and not the second thing caused the first thing? Well, sometimes you know for sure because the second thing happened second.
Before, yeah.
Yeah, or before, yeah.
Right.
So you can start knocking off certain ways that the correlation happened.
Right, sure. Yeah, of course. We know that you can get to
With
better-
reasoning.
You can get to a really good correlation. That's what the scientific method is.
Well, I want to show you this video because I think
Well,
he
when
did
I-
say.
When I realized it wasn't absolute, I was just sitting there for a second. I was like, "Wait, what?"
Correlation, causation. Do you know minute physics?
No.
Alright.
But I guess that I understand its
Yes,
concept.
this is partly why this issue is something else. Because what you just said is so do not buy KG just listen to things are terribly defaced.
So what's weird is they start to talk about the same kind of shit that we're talking about.
I would say, though, the idea of that coiled snake or the dual coiled
Oh, I saw Richard Dawkins talk about that. He was like, the idea that the snakes represent the helix is the most ludicrous idea I've ever
So he
heard.
was talking about JP, right?
Yeah.
So again, that's also another reason I'm like a little bit like, but he's fucking old, so fair enough. But like,
Who?
Dawkins.
Oh, Dawkins.
Dawkins. Like, because they talk about it here, right? And
And
JP
he's like,
gives like
bullshit.
his explanation, and he's like, yeah, that's absolutely bullshit. And JP was like, yeah, fair enough. And he was like, that was like the most far-fetched thing I ever discussed in class, and it was like a long time ago. And Dawkins like, yeah, and I don't want to, I wouldn't want to like call you out on, one random thing that like you only were thinking about at the time. And they're like very conciliatory about it.
Yeah.
And then I see the Alex O'Connor thing years later where he's like, the only thing in his mind related to JP is this like one thing that
Yeah.
like you know.
He said he wouldn't bring up and wouldn't judge him for it. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, what the
I won't bring it up and I won't judge you for it. 3 years later. Why did you bring that up and fuck him for doing that? Wait, look at this.
For a reason, even if it's information, like knowing that one thing happened before the other. But you can also infer causality directly from correlations. You just need more than one, together with something called causal networks.
He shows how you can
basically
basically get.
The same as scientific causality. Sorry, correlation.
If we don't know
Yeah.
anything else, then there are 19, yes, 19
No, well,
different.
okay.
It's just a really good correlation.
He's putting limitations on it because he's saying there's three different factors here. There's the cat, the human. Like it was like I think presence of cat on an island makes humans taller. So there's three things. There's the cat, the human, and the island. But he's only accounting for 3 variables. So in reality, there's
So
infinite.
it's useless.
In reality, there's infinite. So they're useless. But I do want to just show this point, which is that
Correlation is just an accident. So correlation certainly doesn't imply causation yet. However,
I just wanted to show you that he can go through the steps of
born on a particular island, stay there.
if you have more information.
What island they live on, and we can rule out the relationships where height influences island.
See, so with more information, you can start to pull things out.
Yes, but this is the scientific method.
Any correlation between height and
Yeah, basically.
Right.
And we can rule out all the options where height and cats influence each other.
And it's just a really
This
powerful
leaves us
tool.
with just 2 options.
But
Either
where we started to say that's reality, that's where I'm like, what, huh? And, you know, for most of my life I bought it, but it's like, why?
Because my teacher said that.
Well, even, but math is still not part of math.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
But it's useful when predicting stuff about matter, so therefore, even though it's not, even though everything true about it isn't provable and it's not decidable, and we've proven that it can't always be,
and
that we
also,
don't
like,
know, we
what-
can't
what
know
you
whether
said
it's
right now about, like,
consistent or not.
math is useful about math. Well, what? No, it's not. It's
What?
useful about what we care about in the material world. It's useful for stuff we care about in the material world.
Well, it's useful for stuff we don't care about too.
Like what?
Like,
Everything we do is stuff we.
well,
stuff we
everything
care
you can,
about. Yeah, exactly.
well, you don't care how to juggle, but math tells you how a lot of ways of juggling.
Yeah, but you do. This is what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
you
but
would-
math still describes that reality whether you care about it or not.
Yeah, but someone did. This is my point. Right?
But even if no one did, it would
fact.
still. But I don't know. Even if no one cared about it, it still would describe that reality.
Yeah, but we wouldn't use it for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it would still describe it without me needing without. I don't know if that. What was your initial point? I don't even know if that.
Oh, okay. Well, what I was trying to get to was like the fact that like it interacts with matter isn't the only reason that like we perceive it to be real.
The fact that math interacts with matter.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty. I thought that was your point. I thought your point was the reason we feel like math is true is actually because it's useful in the material world and not because it's actually true.
Yes, because it's useful in the material world, not just because it does stuff that we, you know, that we can reliably, consistently, completely show is, you know, true. Because we can't.
Yeah, I guess.
Exactly.
I guess. I'm
Because,
trying to think, but you don't think math would still?
but this one is like, what
Well,
does it mean for it to work? That's
Yeah.
what, like, because work only makes sense.
When we use it.
Yes, for things that we're trying
We're
to
using.
it for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I can say, I don't care about when, you know, my worst enemy loves X, but, like, that doesn't make it not real
Yeah.
or true.
Yeah.
You're making a good argument.
It's not mine.
Nope,
Even though
it's not yours.
even though I did make all of this off of like a brick, basically.
Yeah.
But like the
Bro's
actual argument,
foundation was
the,
was like Japan during an earthquake. Bro's foundation was on a landslide.
yeah, but the actual argument I think is made by the American Pragmatist Society or whatever, which they talk about. I'm trying to just get to that. Right?
And that notion of death and regeneration,
Oh, fuck
it's very difficult to draw a border between these. And I would also say, I agree with you completely that associative thinking of the kind that you just read to me can go far astray. So, for example, partly what happens to people who have like ideas of reference, they'll be watching television, and the latent inhibition will get stripped away from their perception of the voices. So now the voices become magnified in significance. And to account for the magnification of emotional significance, they start thinking, the television has a special message for me. It's like the receipt of a religious revelation, and it's often accompanied by religious ideation. So it's not that uncommon, although it's somewhat uncommon, for people who are floridly schizophrenic to identify with
To identify with what?
Religious revelation.
It is very likely.
Because you characterize us as religious sometimes. You supernatural creator.
That's me all the time. Whether I believe in God, and I say, well, I act as though God exists.
Yes, but
Which is a reference to this model idea.
well, that's how you seem to be.
Wait, yeah, why can he say that, but I can't say I act as if free will exists?
Well, who are you asking? Me?
You? Yeah.
Wow. So, few things. I don't think you can't say that. I didn't say that. One. But also, it's a little bit like contradictory, no? Like, this is where this is why thinking about free will was one of the most exhausting things ever, because, like, you know, when you say, I act as if free will exists, within the question is baked in, like, well, you have no choice.
I operate under an illusion that I have free will.
You have no choice.
Whether I had a choice or not, I feel like I have free will.
Yeah, but you have no choice.
I don't.
Yeah, but saying I act as if I have free will, in the question of free will, do you see the, like...
But I wasn't saying that I was saying...
No, I don't have a problem with you saying that. But I'm just
But
saying...
you're saying it's contradictory, though.
Not really. I just think, I don't know how it makes sense. Because I tried thinking like that, and it gave me friction. That's all. Like, when I think God, right? I think you can't act as if God exists when you have choice.
You can't?
You can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but if you have no choice, the fact of whether or not you have choice matters in the sentence, I act as if. Right?
Yeah, but I wasn't saying that it would be a contradiction if I said I am certain that it is deterministic, but I still act as if free will exists. I was saying I believe in determinism, but I act as if free will exists. So I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure, and I could be wrong.
If you say you're agnostic and then that, I'd be perfectly okay with
Well, it's not agnostic. It's I believe. If you had to. Oh yeah. Well, we went through.
Yeah,
This.
I thought you ended on agnostic.
I did, but I still think. Well, yeah, but even if you don't know God exists, you can still believe it exists. I believe God exists, but I don't know.
That's an element of faith. Like, do you really have faith that
In
the world-
determinism?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yes, in a way, because the
well, I
faith.
thought we already.
No, I changed my opinion, but before
At the time,
I changed my opinion, I would have said I have faith that the universe acts in a law-like manner.
And then I showed you that it doesn't. Well, not law. Like, well, so you okay?
And then
You're
you made
saying
me agnostic
you
enough
have
about
faith
our
that
understanding.
Free will doesn't exist.
Yeah,
Not that.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm getting mixed up in that. Right.
So that doesn't. So I think that's still fine to say I act as if it does exist, because it's saying that even though I believe.
It's just like, okay, but do you see the friction there? That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not quite.
Yeah, I see. I do see the
That-
friction.
yeah.
Because if I truly believed in it all the way, then I wouldn't.
It doesn't make
Be
any
able- I
sense.
wouldn't
It doesn't- the sentence doesn't make
saying
sense.
I act as if free will exists.
But it also doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. But I never had a problem with either of you saying.
Yes, you did.
I just felt like, cause I tried to do that, and then I
Yeah.
was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. It's like, and so I was like, that doesn't work. Because I was like, because I thought, okay, JP can just say that. That's what I thought. I was like, if he can act as if, then I can act. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
It doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. Oh my God.
So, for example,
As you can see, I like kind of. It's a stupid thing. This is why I have like PTSD with regard to philosophy.
what
Anyway.
happens to people who have, like ideas of reference? They'll be watching television.
Bro.
Surprisingly, they're not religious revelation. That's right. You seem to be, well, let me come with the idea of truth. You seem to be saying that which is beneficial to humanity or to
Okay, I think here's where it
reduce
is.
your anxiety or makes you feel good or reduces stress is true.
No. It's more than that. And good. I'm glad that we're on to this part of this discussion.
I am too.
Yeah.
So that's a very scientist objection.
This part of this
Yeah.
discussion.
And your mind will get a little muddled here. Because it was very hard for me to think.
Treatise, The Origin of Species. The New England pragmatists are holding his manuscript, William James and C.S. Peirce. And William James founded experimental psychology, and C.S. Peirce was probably the most profound philosopher the Americans ever produced. And they had a club, I think it was the psychological club, because he did add the philosophical club, but I believe it was the psychological club. And they believed that Darwin's theorizing required a new epistemology. It was so revolutionary. And Peirce in particular, developed pragmatism. And pragmatism is like an engineering truth claim. And I don't think you can be an evolutionary biologist without being a pragmatist. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's coherent conceptually. And so Peirce was trying to solve the problem of, well, how can something be true when we're fundamentally ignorant about everything in the final analysis? And the answer was, well, we have truths that are true enough. And you might say, well, what do you mean true enough? And the answer would be, they're true enough to be used as tools to achieve a certain end in a certain
He didn't get to the
space
point.
for a certain time period. And so your truth is true enough if it gets you from point A to B when you're using it. The tool is adequate for the job if it performs the task intended. And for Peirce and the pragmatists, that was it. There was no truth superordinate to that. Now, it's complicated because
Wait, don't you think? Do you not think that?
So I
there-
didn't get the evolutionary biology link, but that's why I want to read their books.
Well, I think it's just the idea, right, that in any science, it's like, this does not mean like just in any science that the thing we care about, like what's true is basically just the best current theory that we have at the time.
No, but I think you could have got to that before Darwin. I don't know why Darwin really
Oh.
made them go with that. And so I don't need more than the fact that causality isn't absolute.
But
it's interesting to think
my
about.
point on that is that how is that not just? Wait, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Wait, but would you not still say, or I guess would Peterson also not still just say though that it's because science is unfinished? Like the reason that
No, well, I'm.
it's because our theory is incomplete. It's not because there is no truth to the universe. It's just that we haven't found it yet. And our theories, like Newton's theory of mechanics, was pretty good, but only didn't work at the speeds close to the speed of light. So then Einstein came along and revised that and fixed it and included that. But then we found out that that was wrong
He
because it
didn't
didn't
talk
involve
about this, but
quantum
like,
mechanics.
how do you deal with what I just talked about, which is like causality is not true.
Yeah, the problem is that, I guess really the problem is that we're trying to use
The rules,
the universe, the rules.
which relates.
We're
to
trying to explain
Like,
the
this
universe
picture
within the universe.
has like
yeah.
pieced in from all over the place.
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
And it's like, it's is somewhat beautiful.
Yeah, wait, I wonder if a theory of the universe is impossible to design within the universe. Like,
That's what Gödel's
and that's the whole idea.
suggests.
Yeah, that's the whole idea of God, is that he has to be outside of the universe or above it in some way to be able to modify or understand it fully.
Yeah, well, I mean, this took me like a year to piece through, so maybe that's what he's talking about when he says 8 days. Moses.
Yeah. He was like, but actually, just realistically for a second, did Moses actually split the sea?
What does actually mean? I was like,
Yeah, and he's like, it would take me a week to answer that question. I'm just like, bro, just fucking say no.
but I don't know if I like if like. Okay, well, I don't.
No, but I know.
I don't.
Yeah,
Want, I know, but I don't want to touch that because I don't know what to do with religion in this framework, and I don't care enough to introduce it yet.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to like
Okay.
add some building blocks in, and honestly, like talking to you is helping because like you didn't instantly find a flaw in this,
Yeah.
and I don't really think there is because it's like causality again. This is like what I'm saying, right? Like because this is where I was initially. But then I found out about the whole causality thing because he didn't bring that point up, and I'm not sure why. It might be because he didn't want Dawkins to think he's an idiot.
Yeah. Honestly,
But I don't know,
the Gödel's thing really definitely changed my mind.
bro. It blew my
But-
mind.
But I don't know, I saw that video before. I don't know why I didn't find it as significant. I mean, I do remember watching it and at the time
Because-
being like, wait, what? Math doesn't work? But then I just forgot at some point or another. But
But-
I don't think I don't think I'll ever be able to forget that
because
math
because
is
he didn't say
incomplete
he didn't say the implication of that.
in the video.
Yeah, because the physicist Roger Penrose.
Yeah, 'cause he didn't end
we still
with-
understand
Yeah, I
it.
see what
We still know that it works.
I see what because at the end of the video he wasn't like, oh well, so math is we know that math we know that we can't prove that math is inconsistent. We know that there's true things that we can't prove, and we know that it's not decidable. So then why use math? You know what I mean? He didn't make that link.
Right, well, and, no one would ever think that,
Yeah.
right? And it's like,
But all he had to say was why use math because it's useful.
Well, he would never talk about that because neither did the physicists. The pragmatism thing, it's not a direct link. You can't why would he think about that?
What?
No one thinks about that.
The utility of
Yeah, the scientists, the people who are thinking about math and thinking about scientific truths don't ever consider philosophical, or mostly, I don't think, consider the philosophical implications of that.
Yeah, I
And so
agree.
this is
Although
why-
I
this
feel
is
like
why people need
Veritasium
to
would.
talk. Maybe, I don't know.
Veritasium
Maybe he just
does-
doesn't know.
He
he's
does
never thought
normally
about
give
that
credit. I
idea.
actually want to see how that video ended.
But
'cause
maybe he's never thought about that idea because
Maybe.
it's not such an intuitive idea.
math is incomplete.
Is unprovable. There is no proof anywhere in
Because just because of
Dreams
that,
designs.
do you really think he would say that there are no truths? I don't think he'd talk about there are no scientific truths that are absolute truths.
No, but this
is a hole at the bottom of math. A hole that means we will never know.
The video is just not
Wait,
about that, no?
There is a hole at the bottom of math. A hole that means we will never know everything with certainty. There will always be true statements that cannot be proven. And you might think this realization would have driven mathematicians mad and led to the disintegration of the entire mathematical enterprise. But instead, thinking about this problem transformed the concept of infinity, changed the course of a world war, and led directly to the invention of the device you're watching this on right now.
Just didn't explain how.
Yeah.
But hold on.
That was not enough explanation, but he did actually touch on an important thing, which is, well, this whole thing, paradoxically, even though this whole thing that we just did in this whole video was proving that that there was true statements in math that we could never prove and that there's not full consistency, resulted in the invention of, 3 extremely useful historical inventions.
But you know what's so interesting?
Which is weird. It's
Yeah.
we just proved that it doesn't work
If it's not much proof of anything.
Yet
that
this
it meant
proof that
yeah.
it doesn't work
It was useful, yes.
made it useful, which is
Well, yeah, I know.
kind of your point. That it's
But- yeah,
only
but-
true because it's
Yeah, but
useful.
I wouldn't use that. That's just more funny, like.
Yeah, that's
thing,
yeah, that's
like-
yeah.
But what's so interesting is that when I found this, right? When I found Gödel's theorem off the Roger Penrose Lex Friedman interview, I instantly went to ChatGPT and basically tried to create this framework out of it. I didn't even know I was doing it at the time. But
Have you ever talked
ChatGPT
to
told me.
ChatGPT?
What do you mean? Oh, voice?
Yeah.
No. But anyway, but ChatGPT kept saying, actually, ChatGPT kept saying, no, this applies to formal mathematical systems. And I was like, yeah, but why? Like, surely that still means no, it applies to formal mathematical systems and physics is
The
different and
concept of
blah, blah,
ceteris
blah, blah, blah,
paribus,
blah.
meaning
No.
And until I like found pragmatism and found like an
Yeah.
understanding and realized causality wasn't actually, because who would doubt that? Who would
Yeah.
who would dare doubt scientific truth?
Yeah.
Like,
Me.
well, shit, you couldn't have set me on this path. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just be glad, cancel culture is not on my list.
Yeah.
no, but
No, be glad that people aren't intellectual enough to cancel people for something like this. Like they can only cancel based off of a racist statement, not disagreeing with every STEM field.
Do you think I wouldn't do it then? Yeah, but so I don't know if but I mean, it's not obvious that you'd extrapolate from this. And even ChatGPT was telling me, fuck off, it's about formal mathematical systems.
Yeah.
And, when I looked online, they were like, oh, no, actually, Gödel's theorem doesn't actually do anything. It's like, what? Because apparently this was like, a lot of people must have tried to do what I'm trying to do, and mathematicians probably went, no. But again, so I'm not done. I want to read what the pragmatists figured out and what they thought about.
In this
Imagine
video,
a club of
in
like
this
the
video, he
smartest
brought up
people.
the
Did you? But when you were listening to like, they made a club.
Yeah.
Wasn't that like sound cool?
Yeah, that did sound pretty cool. They basically made Thinkers University
Right.
up their time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they really thought they were.
But
us.
they were also like
They thought they were us.
established,
They're
like-
just less smart. Like, come on.
they were like established like the best in their field when they made the club.
Yeah.
Versus like
Us. No, but
bunch of YouTubers.
what was I gonna say? Oh,
bunch
bro.
of wannabe YouTubers.
In this video, also, he brought up that one of the fucking things they did was write in Principia Mathematica. He wrote like a 700-page proof that 1 + 1 = 2. And then later was like, this proof is occasionally useful. That's kind of not related.
Three-volume Principia
Yeah,
Mathematica,
look.
published in 1913. Principia Mathematica is vast, a total of nearly 2,000 pages of dense mathematical notation. It takes 762 pages just to get to a complete proof that 1 + 1 = 2. At which point Russell and Whitehead tryly note, the above proposition is occasionally useful.
Imagine spending 700 pages proving 1 + 1 =
Wait, so
2.
there is an actual proof?
That 1 + 1 = 2?
Yeah.
Apparently.
I don't even want to think about what that means. Like I don't.
Bro, I'm looking
I don't
it
know
up.
what that means.
Proof.
Like, but what does it mean for like? How would
There's a-
you prove?
Some things are just obvious. The sky is blue. A comes before B. The IRS intentionally created a cumbersome system for paying federal taxes on behalf of corporate lobbyists.
Did you hear that?
Wait, can you pause it for a second?
Yeah.
So here's why I think I'm having a problem, right? Like, so look.
Wait, did you hear that though? That was pretty funny.
No, I didn't because I'm thinking about this.
Okay.
One, 1, 2.
Yeah.
What's wrong with this proof?
That you didn't start with axioms that if you didn't use logic to prove it though. Like a proof needs to logically follow. So we learned this in philosophy, right? But it needs to say that if all the premises are true, then the conclusion must be true. So you just said 1, 1, 2. That didn't follow a logical.
That numbers are in an ascending like order. I don't know.
But what's the logical? You want to just watch this video?
Sure, but I'm trying to think like, is it like using the rules to prove the rules? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
let's see.
But you.
Things are just obvious.
You don't have my laptop in there, so we could like watch it on a bigger
Obvious.
screen.
The sky is blue.
I think
A
it's
comes
bigger.
before B. The IRS intentionally.
Did you hear this? I'll
Some
just play.
things are just obvious. The sky is blue. A comes before B. The IRS intentionally created a cumbersome system for paying federal taxes on behalf of corporate lobbyists. 1 + 1 = 2. Except that last one might not be as obvious as it seems. You see, that equation is a proof, and that proof takes up 360 pages of this book, the Principia Mathematica. Now, before we get into the proof itself, there's one big question we have to answer. Why? Like, why did someone spend all this time proving that 1 + 1 = 2? Why did it take more than 300 pages? And why are you watching a video about this instead of kissing a beautiful woman? Well, I can kind of answer to that last question is between you and that beautiful woman.
I have a question.
Is that Principia?
Do you think people? How did people know 1 + 1 = 2 before this?
By doing it in real life.
So they
Just by
so
intuition.
This is just
by
a post hoc rationalization.
Yeah. Yes, I guess.
Mathematica wasn't written to prove that 1 + 1 = 2. People already felt pretty confident about that by 1910, and if it somehow wasn't true, a whole bunch of bridges would have probably collapsed. Now, Principia Mathematica was written to do a much broader and much more complicated thing. Around the beginning of the 20th century, there was a sort of math crisis going on. You see, for every branch of mathematics, whether it's algebra or calculus or geometry or whatever else, in order to prove something, you have to rely on proofs that already exist. Those proofs rely on other proofs, which rely on other proofs, down and down the line until you get to the basic assumptions that you can't really prove. They just feel right. Like, one of these assumptions for algebra is that if A = B, B also = A. If I asked you to prove that to me, you would probably laugh politely and then stop talking to me forever. But up until the 20th century, basic assumptions were different for each different branch of mathematics. There wasn't one set of rules that you could use to prove everything that's true in math. Principia Mathematica was an attempt to fix this. Its authors wanted to derive a complete system of mathematics from pure logic, starting with just a few key assumptions and taking small logical steps from there to build everything we know about math. Just to be clear, this didn't actually work. Turns out it's actually impossible to do that without any holes. So this whole book is kind of useless, but it did result in a very weird and very convoluted proof that 1 + 1 = 2 along the way. And I
What are you
so
doing?
here we are. This is the section that proves 1 + 1 = 2, or at least this is the main chunk of proof. If you're a normal person with a normal brain, you're probably looking at this and thinking, oh, oof, my normal brain hurts. But if you have a PhD in mathematics, then you'd probably be doing something more important than watching this video. If you did though, you'd still probably have a really hard time figuring out what any of this means. And that's because a lot of these symbols are super old and aren't used anymore, and almost all of these numbers are just references to earlier sections of the book, which has been read in its entirety by almost nobody. This shows up on page 360, and it's built on a lot of other proofs and definitions.
Can
that I
you
totally
stop?
So let's go ahead and walk through.
No, stop the.
each line
speeding it
together,
up.
and we'll come out of this
Yeah,
you not
he's
understand?
pretty fast already.
Explain. So let's go ahead and walk through
I can
each line
understand
together,
it.
and we'll all come out of this somehow more annoyed than when we began.
'Cause you didn't start
first
the
line
proof
basically
yet.
lays out what the whole section is trying to prove, so we don't have to worry about that for now. The proof begins here, which is mostly built off an earlier section of this book, 54-26. I'm just going to tell you what it means, because if I had to explain how they proved this was true too, then I just end up reciting the whole book, and we have a sponsor who paid me
Isn't
for
that the
eyeballs about 30
problem?
minutes from now. Basically, this theorem states that if A is a set of numbers with exactly one number in it, and B is a set of numbers with exactly one number in it, then a set of numbers that contains all the numbers from A and B will only have two total numbers if the numbers contained within A and B aren't equal to one another. Yeah, that seems kind of obvious, but you're watching a video about why 1 + 1 = 2 right now, so you're in no place to judge. Now, these next two lines are saying something even more obvious. Kind of something so obvious that it's hard to even describe what it is they're trying to say. Like, have you ever encountered something so simple that it was impossible to comprehend? Have you ever stared into the ceaseless void of space, not able to see anything at all, but still paradoxically incapable of grasping what it is you're seeing? For it is the very absence of light,
Okay,
the very
can you just
absence
say
of
what
information
it
itself
is?
that the human mind cannot possibly hope to comprehend. These lines are kind of like that. The argument here is that if the numbers contained within sets A and B are different, that is the same thing as saying that the intersection between sets A and B is the set with no numbers in it. Or, in other words, if A and B each have one number and those numbers are different, then A and B have no overlap. The sets themselves are also different. Cool, I guess. And
Yeah.
that leads us to the conclusion. with these last few lines. It brings in some other
How did
sections to
they
tie everything
prove that?
together, but they're so technical that they're not really worth talking about. Like this one, 11-54, literally just means that if two things exist, you can conclude from it that one of those things exists, and also that the other thing exists. That's not a joke. I'm not joking. There's a whole section.
See, I don't know where this falls into pragmatism, not gonna lie. Because, like, what is this useful for?
Time off, and this video is a legally binding agreement. Oh, nice try. Anyway, this conclusion essentially states that if set A and set B each have one element, and the intersection of A and B is the set with no elements, then you can prove that a set containing all of the elements of set A and set B has exactly two elements. Or, as the cool teens would put it, if you have a group of one thing and combine it with a group of a different thing, you get a group of two things. So, 1 plus 1
That
equals
didn't
2.
really.
Now that you know what 1 plus 1 equals, you might think you know everything you know about the world, but you're wrong. The world is complicated and
He's
gonna be
pause.
to keep up.
So, like, so the idea is that, you know, we have these fundamental axioms, and we're gonna mesh them together to prove this other fundamental. So to make this not a fundamental axiom.
Yeah.
So every time you try to prove a fundamental axiom, you need new fundamental axioms.
Yeah.
And maybe you can justify some of them being more fundamental. Maybe? Is that like
Yeah,
the claim?
I mean, I think they'd rather use like the set.
Does that still have more?
Like no.
How did you, every time you wrote, you're just trusting her?
Yeah.
How did you do it?
Yeah, next set notation is better. I'm not.
Oh wait, you were just making a smiling face. I thought you were gonna do
No,
something.
I was like, I think it's better for them to say like, well, the set, like how you use in here, like the set of all A and the set of all B. Wait, I'll make it so they have overlap. So as long as there's no overlap between these two numbers, then you can take everything that's in this set and everything that's in this set, and you'll have the combination of the two things, of the two sets. And there won't be any, if there's no intersection.
See, I don't know how to prove that like this isn't actually a fundamental truth.
I think they'd
But I feel
rather
like
use
it
the
is.
truth. They'd rather use the truth, basically, that if two sets have no intersection, then the set of each of these sets is this set plus this set. Basically, they'd rather say that than 1 plus 1 equals 2.
Right, yeah, that's a more fundamental axiom.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think.
but is
Yeah.
that how?
Where did this come
Yeah,
from?
exactly. But and the fact
Infinite
that,
loop.
But the fact no. Answer might be consciousness.
Yeah.
Like
Because
the
we just
fact that we can understand
Yeah.
this.
Well, like they gave the first one at the beginning of the video, right? Like,
Well, it would never be an infinite loop.
if-
How'd you get to that?
No, because I was just trolling.
Yeah, okay, cool. That was just
Yeah.
making sure, just because I didn't miss something out of it.
Like this. How do we know for sure?
No, we don't.
But that's an axiom that they use. Or that I think.
Really? They use this?
Yeah, I think so.
But I'm sure they use proofs for these too.
Wait, let me look up.
This is such a big book. I think that's what it's doing. So what are the most fundamental axioms within the principle? But can you, so hold on.
Wait, what are the 5 axioms of math?
But Bennett, like
Yeah.
imagine, you know, we had a mathematician and a physicist and a philosopher and an evolutionary biologist and a psychologist and a neuroscientist. And they all, like, we're trying to, you know, figure this stuff out instead of 2 idiots. It's like, but that could happen.
Yeah.
It's like, why? I guess
What is the difference?
solving actual problems? Maybe. Yeah, but that goes to pragmatism more than anything else.
Wait, that's an axiom?
Huh? Well, the Cartesian plane thing, maybe. See, this is actually where I'm annoyed that I don't have a better understanding of math.
In simpler words, these are truths that are form the basis for all other derivations and have been derived from the basis of everyday experiences.
No way. No.
It says this.
No way. There's no way. There's no way.
In addition to
There's
this,
no
there is
way.
no evidence opposing them. Yeah.
No, there's no
The
way.
fuck? Look, they said there's no way that's an axiom. Though. They say
Well, no, but
Here, ready for the
they said
axiom?
experience is the axiom.
that's true.
Also, and they're also wrong about that. It's not experience, it's understanding. And they basically just said consciousness, fuck you, bye.
Okay, look.
Like, that's so
This is what
cool
they
that
said.
This is like,
This is what they said. Okay.
hmm.
So angle A, angle B, intersecting the same line. They said if A plus B equals 180, then A is perpendicular to B. Sorry, parallel to B. So line A, this will be line A, line B. So if angles A plus B add to 180, that's an axiom.
I guess like they like did it in real life and it worked out.
So far.
Yeah. Every time
they've done it so far, it worked out. So
it's a
well, just yeah.
I can't believe this.
I don't see why the hypotenuse isn't any more. Like, why is that a theorem, but that's an axiom?
No, but it's for this. It's to prove that 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's why, because they wanted to, that's the caveat. But that, it seems like it's it, and that's so stupid. Because maybe someone, maybe someone did the same thing for that axiom, and then they.
No, the reason that says what if it was infinite is because what if they just had an. Well, I guess that is the problem. Is that if you try to make an axiom that proves itself, you run into the
Gödel's
Gödel's theorem. Wait, okay.
But the extrapolation from that to consciousness.
Wait, hold on.
Is
I
actually
have the 5 axioms of
brilliant.
algebra. Are you ready?
Sure. Math is actually interesting for once. It's crazy.
Okay.
I can't believe math is like getting more interesting as this goes on. It's very cool.
Here, I'm writing out all the axioms.
You know what's good? It's getting interesting when I'm realizing that it's bullshit.
Yeah. Okay, and then last one. Yeah, okay. See, these do seem pretty unshakable, but I mean, it is also just like.
What?
I'll explain the axioms. Okay, ready? Okay, first of all, a number equals itself.
Yes, that I got.
So, a number is equal to itself. This is the first axiom of equality. It follows Euclid's common notion 1. Things equal to the same thing are equal to each other.
And what's crazy is that ChatGPT wouldn't let me extrapolate, but what do you think about this? Like extrapolating from that, I am what I am.
Yeah, I think that has to be true,
Yeah, right.
but I can't prove it.
Right. But that I can actually say probably is a fundamental thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure of it.
Okay, next one, symmetric
Like, how about
axiom.
this? I don't know how I am what I am can't be true.
Wait, you don't know how you are what you are?
No, I don't know how I am what I am can't be true.
Yeah.
I know how this can be
Okay.
not true.
Symmetric axiom, numbers are symmetric around the equal sign. If A equals B, then B equals A.
So isn't this using this?
Things equal to the same thing are equal to each other.
Isn't this using this to prove this?
No,
Otherwise, where is this coming from?
it's an axiom.
Okay, but I thought like it is reasonable to say that because this equals this and this, we can say that this equals this if this equals this.
Oh, you're saying because you could switch the A's
Yeah.
and it would be the same thing.
Yeah.
Then if you replace A with B, then
Yes. Isn't that why?
yeah, why can't that just be a proof then? I don't
It
know.
probably can't
It
be,
says
but this is what I'd say.
It says it's its own axiom.
But this is what I'm saying, like, you don't know.
How do you know you don't know?
Because
Well, how do you know you don't know for the first one either?
because,
You just said
because
you
I
don't
am-
know.
because something being itself, I can buy that.
Personally.
Yeah. But
Okay.
I can see how like enough times something wouldn't be what it was
No, well,
before or whatever.
that one I buy, but I want to show. You know what this reminded me? So this one,
If
multiplicative axiom. If A equals B and C equals D, then A times C, so these two numbers, equal B times D.
Right. Well, we know these to be true.
I just talked to you about how 10 times 1 can be different than 1 times 10. Remember?
Not really.
10 people hiring one person versus one person hiring 10 people?
But that's not math.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what? Where did you bring that? This is not people. And that's about the outcomes.
That's true. I guess that's how we use math to represent the
You
real
just
world.
went like way, like wrong. No, because I think.
What about this one?
No, I think all
This
of
one
these.
seems more shady than this one to me, for sure.
If A equals B and B equals C equals. No, see, but like, yes, it seems more shady, but what's common among all of these is that we can intuitively understand them as true.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that's not just because we learned them in school.
I feel like there's no way you can debate this, I feel like. How could you not be yourself? Or how could something not be itself?
When it's two things at once.
Like what?
Sort of scat.
Yeah, but it is still. I don't know.
Well, but all you asked for was how it could.
Yeah, not
I'm not
how.
proving
Not that it is.
Yeah. Does that sound fair? I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds fair. But an axiom is a mathematical statement that is assumed to be true. There are 5 basic axioms about. Where do axioms come from?
But this would still be true.
I can't believe it said.
Well, actually, never mind. Because that's wrong. Because even if it's comma B, this would still be true, right?
Yeah.
So.
Bro, I can't believe it said these are axioms. Or what did it say?
It's from experience.
It's like, because we feel like it's true and there's no evidence to the contrary yet.
This is what I've been saying. This is what I've been saying this whole time, and you all keep telling me, oh no, but this, and I keep knocking them out. And finally, it took us 20 years to realize that it's all bullshit. I love how they like hid that away too.
Yeah.
Let's just hope no one gets it.
Yes.
It's very possible we're missing something, but I doubt it because
Well,
we're being careful.
I'm screenshotting this shit. There are
Well,
statements.
I'm making a TikTok on this now. Like,
Therefore, they are statements that are standalone and indisputable in their origins.
why?
In
Because
simpler
we
words-
experienced them.
In simpler words, these are truths that form the basis of all other derivations and have been derived from the basis of everyday experience. Bro, no.
I can't believe that.
In addition to this, and they really tried to add in addition to this as if like
I'm so excited.
as if you can build
I'm
off
so
that.
excited.
In addition to this, there is no evidence opposing them.
Right.
Yeah, no shit, because you haven't encountered it yet, dumbass. It's like we didn't have any evidence opposing anything that was
Wasn't true.
until we got evidence opposing that. thing.
Yeah, but and why is that okay? Because it works.
Yeah,
Because it's useful.
yeah.
So what's true?
Yeah.
What matters?
Yeah. Yeah, we can't, I guess we just can't know anything is true or not. We can just know that it's been useful in the past. And we haven't encountered it.
It's a matter how you use your words, right? But I'd like to say that at least there's like a hierarchy of truths.
Like useful truths are higher than useless.
Maybe I'm not gonna fix this, but like
Okay.
some things aren't true, right? Like
The sky isn't blue.
sure, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm not a pen.
Yeah.
So that's different from whatever.
You are not yourself.
Right. So that's different.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, because they're self-contradictions. Well, at least that you are not
But based
yourself.
off the rules that we can't prove.
Yeah, that's true.
But this
So
why
is
we have to
anything,
just
is
have
anything
faith.
false then?
We just have to have faith in consciousness.
Wait, would you say anything is false?
Okay, so let's defer to. Yes.
What? How could you
Based
say
off
that?
the rules.
Yeah, okay. So it's as flawed false as it is flawed true, basically.
Well, let's try to get to a fundamental truth, a real one.
Pain?
Descartes.
Yeah, so the fact that you exist.
I think, therefore I am. Is that true though? Alex O'Connor has a video on it. You wanna watch it?
How long?
I don't know. But we
Better
can get the
keep
gist of
on.
it probably. Or we can look up a short on what it means.
Alright, we'll watch a short.
because I can bring in Sam Harris's fundamental truth as well.
What is his?
That consciousness
Is real.
is real, yeah. Because even if
That's basically
it's an
Descartes'
illusion-
truth,
Okay.
right?
Is it? Well, I just don't
Well, he
understand
exists in
exactly
some
what-
capacity. He just means because of the fact that I think I must exist in some capacity, even
Right.
if it's a brain in a vat. The brain in the vat still exists. So something
Yeah, so
exists
experience.
that is doing the thinking.
Experience, understanding those things are real and true.
Yeah, understanding. I guess maybe the axiom is understanding proves existence. Thoughts?
I think understanding is real. I don't know what it means for. I don't know what it proves existence means.
It proves that something must exist. That
Because
is
we have to
doing-
understand it.
Yeah, something,
Or-
whatever is
yeah,
doing the
or experience it,
understanding
yeah,
exists.
Yeah, because we might understand it wrong. So like the understanding it means something exists. Sure. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. So I guess that's the truth. But then I'd like to say like. I don't want to say that scientific truths aren't true. They're just a hierarchy of truth, and I think pragmatism lays out the argument for that quite elegantly.
Lays out an argument that it's useful, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree.
But I do want to explore what they actually like thought and wrote.
Yeah.
And
Bro, that's actually. I'm fucking gonna go at every mathematician. I'm actually bringing that up
I'm
next
so
Government
excited.
Club. I can't wait to see.
we might be completely wrong.
In simpler words, the truths that form the basis of all other derivations have been derived from the basis of everyday experiences. Like, bro. In addition to this, there's no evidence opposing them. Like, no shit, dumbass. Like, of course there isn't yet.
Yeah, so that's why, like, it's weird, like, because Roger Penrose is trying to derive, like, a physics explanation for consciousness from quantum mechanics based on understanding being what consciousness is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand.
That's a good idea.
I don't understand the physics of it, but he's trying to gravitize quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
It sounds.
Yeah.
Because have you heard of quantizing gravity?
No.
Okay.
Oh, is it like gravity in chunks, basically?
I have no idea what it is, but I've heard of it.
Well, I know
And so-
quantizing means like, instead of something being linear, it's like in steps.
Well, it's something along the lines of like looking at gravity from a quantum mechanics perspective, which is what like people have been doing. And so he's trying to introduce gravity into quantum mechanics, and like.
Dude, I hope we find a theory that bridges the gap in our lifetime.
So he thinks it lies between between quantum mechanics and the material world, and it's like.
Bro, that would be so cool if consciousness bridged the gap between.
It's something. So that's what he thinks. It's something like that, and like the collapse of the wave function causes consciousness. It's something like that.
Bro, you've heard of the double slit experiment? I showed this to you.
Yeah.
That like when we try to observe what it's
yeah.
doing,
Yeah.
it does something different.
Right. Yeah. So I think he talked about that. Like he was like, they're all missing something. But it was this Forbes article, and I was like, I'll just send you the Forbes article.
Remind me to email the last quiz in 12 hours.
But that's the thing, right? Like, what happens when if he's right? Like, what the fuck do we do then?
If Penrose is right?
Or anyone comes up with a theory of consciousness that gets like experimentally proved. Because what I'm saying philosophically still holds.
What?
That the causality, like, isn't. So all of that would do is explain how we're able to understand things that aren't provable. But that would be proven.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
No, would that have to be axiomatic?
Maybe we're just using rules to prove something. I guess there. How about this? It's something like there is no working understanding of consciousness, and so once we have a working understanding of consciousness, we just have a working understanding of it. Like it's not a fundamental.
Well, I guess it's
consciousness itself.
Well, I guess it is an axiom in the sense that, well, everything we develop, bro, is just until we find a flaw with it. Like, Newtonian mechanics was correct until they found that it didn't work at the speed of light.
Yeah, but is it a fundamental truth in an absolute sense?
No, it won't.
Right, exactly. So that's why I think.
Yeah, but are the axioms of math a fundamental truth in that sense?
No.
All right, so why do you think there's truths in the absolute sense? Or well, I guess the only one is that you think, therefore you are.
Yeah.
Is that the only one? That's got to be the only one.
I think so. Fucking, this guy figured this out like
Wait.
200 years ago.
How do we know that that's true, though?
Because,
I guess it's because, like, well, what? How could it?
How do we know? This is the thing, right? We know, and the fact that we know proves that we know.
Yeah.
That's the only one that bites itself. I
Yeah.
guess. Does this bite itself?
I think that A equals A bites itself.
Maybe it's very similar to I think therefore I am therefore I am.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So being.
Existence proves existence, basically.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, like. To me, the only things you can know for sure are like the logical, like the ones that you can like for example, if you have where did the pen go? If you like, you know how in logic, like if you can follow from if A then B. Oh fuck. Too tired, bro. Okay, if you have if A then B, so like if all cats are blue. Sorry. If it's blue, then it is a cat. You can always derive, it will always be true that if not B, bro.
Yeah, but I can tell you how
this will
I can
always
tell
be
you how
true.
that might not be true.
No, it can't. It can never not be true.
But I
So
can tell you how it can be true.
if it's blue, then it is a cat. So if that first statement is true, then if it's not blue, then it's not a cat.
But I can tell you how that can.
Give me an example of this.
Yeah, I'll show you. So if A then B, right?
Yeah, but it needs to be all. So if all cats are blue.
No,
Sorry.
Like just look, but forget that. Like just if A then B, right? But what if A is it's not B? I'm trying to do the whole like. What if A is two things?
If cats are blue and happy.
Yeah. And so then.
If it's blue and happy, then it'll be a cat.
But that's not
And if
necessary.
it's not a cat, then it will not be blue and happy. No, that's still true. This is, I'm pretty certain this is, this necessarily follows from this, if this one is true. It's just logic. It can't not follow. Like,
If something. If
just say-
something, then something. Then if not that,
That
something,
thing, then not the first
other
thing.
too.
So like, let's say all cats are blue. So if it's a cat, then it's blue. If it's not blue, then it can't be a cat. Because all cats are blue. So if it wasn't blue, then it couldn't have been a cat because all the cats are blue.
Yeah, the premise.
Yeah. So I feel like this derivation from this is always true. Right? The question is this premise always true? Which
We don't know.
but it doesn't even matter because you can make up a scenario, you can make up a random scenario where it would have to be true. Like in Harry Potter, like all witches ride on brooms in the story of Harry Potter or whatever.
Right.
Then this would have to be true. So the fact that this follows from this is always true, I feel like. Like that's an axiom.
Sure, yeah, but you just can never.
Yeah, the premise is never, yeah.
Right. So
But
logic.
just logic is always true still.
Right. Interesting, yeah. That's interesting, yeah. So the mechanisms by which we could
Yeah, prove stuff.
derive stuff all works.
Yeah.
It's just you can
You
never,
can never have a premise to start anything with, basically.
But we have one.
What?
That
I think, therefore I am.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Can you do something with that?
no, but you would just go, if I exist, then I exist. And if I don't exist, then I must not have existed. Basically. But it's the same as saying.
Yeah, you can't do much.
Yeah, I don't think we can go anywhere.
But you got like two things.
Yeah.
But all my point is just to be like, all I was trying to get to was like materialist rationalism cannot be the fundamental reality,
Yeah.
and it's not.
Yeah.
And I knew that. I just had to show the people that the rules that they made up.
Yeah.
Thought
that they only thought were true because other people told them were true.
Exactly.
Aren't always true. Or aren't even provable
You
or
can't prove
consistent
that
or
it's
decided.
nothing. It's way worse than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was just like, maybe there's a little bit of space for it. No, the whole thing's a mess.
Yeah.
It's like, the whole thing, it's like, yeah. You
Yeah,
can see why Descartes was like, yeah, this is it.
Wanted to kill himself.
No, did he? I don't think he actually did.
I don't know.
Because I think Descartes actually, I read something about the fact like.
No, I understand why I was such a
like,
skeptic.
This was just, all this was useful for was like logic and thinking, but like you shouldn't just stay in a room and think about how you are because you.
Grove realized his life was pointless.
No, but this is the thing. I don't think it's pointless
Why?
because I don't think the point needs to be inherent for it to exist.
Yeah.
I think humans are rationalizing creatures. So Camus said.
Yeah.
It's true. I think therefore I am. Think a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean it's false. It's like, this is what I hear from scientists and materialist rationalists. Like, even though love is an illusion, it's still a great illusion. I can just enjoy it while knowing it's not real under my scientific truth. It's like, fuck you! Who do you think you are? Shit.
No, but I don't want to hurt my chin.
What do you want?
Well, if I went fast.
Yeah, but why would you do that?
Toe. That'll surely do some damage.
I just think so. I thought, like, what's the best way to start a fight? That, like, you don't know what the skill level of the opponent is. It's like,
Kicking them in the balls, probably. It's probably the best way.
Really? Like, I don't want you to kick me in the balls, but like, I think I could move out of the way of that.
Well, what's a better move?
Well, I'm not sure, but like,
I feel like that's. Well, but okay, but you
I
wouldn't
know,
see it
but
coming, yeah.
would you? No, but I'm saying it's like a fight started.
So like, I'm like,
Yeah, it's already started.
we get to there.
We know where
Then
to
what do I do?
I
Yeah.
mean, we know where. Yeah, exactly. So I don't like. I'm not. No, I don't know if any of that is good. But like, I feel like one, a kick to the balls.
We need to talk about whether I'm not doing it now.
Yeah, no. But I'm saying like, whether kick to the balls. One, is it 100% like ending it?
And what's the likeliness it lands?
Yeah. Versus, jiu-jitsu, you just take them down.
Well, but are there other people in the vicinity?
No, it's a one-to-one.
So one-on-one, we're in a room locked.
Not a room, let's say street though. Because that's so the thing is. Street fight.
Yeah.
No, room definitely like just take them down. That's
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. I feel like.
Logicians try to.
Well, I feel like I just wouldn't get into a fight. Yeah, like.
Bro's gonna negotiate his way.
No, you would. Like, if it's
Sometimes you can't negotiate, bro.
No, but when you say, like, oh, well, it's a street fight, but, like, the guy's gonna see it coming because, like, you both decided you're getting into a fight. That part, if you're doing that, then it could have been avoided.
No, like, the guy was aggressive, but he has a code.
He has a what?
He has a code.
Like a moral code?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then if you're
No,
respectful,
the code is that, like, I'll let you know that I'm gonna hit you, and now I'm gonna hit you.
then I'd run. What? That's like genuine.
then he's gonna shoot you.
He's gonna. So if I try to punch him, it's fine.
Yes.
But if I try to run, he'll shoot me.
And that's my fundamental axiom. That's as true as like any of this other crap. That's what we fucking discovered today. No, but this is what I mean. Like, how do you operate in this world? This is the next question.
In what?
In this world. Now that we've come to this realization, how do you operate? Pragmatism.
Yeah, just the stuff that is useful.
That matters.
Yeah.
Now,
But that could have been how.
Dawkins is
That still is how I operated before, though.
Yeah, but you were just an idiot.
Oh, you're saying
Like-
that post hoc rationalization, basically. Like I was,
No,
I was acting that way when I shouldn't have been,
Yes.
based on what I believe.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not post hoc. It's
I know.
actually just a delusion.
Yeah. It's just stupidity. It's not. It's not like you rationalized it. Like that's just dumb.
This is not what I think about all scientists.
Yeah.
No, I don't. It's like, I think the best way to operate is still to just go about your day. But if you're gonna come up to me and be like, "Oh, the stuff you value isn't real,"
Yeah.
I'm gonna burn your world in front of you, and
Yeah.
you're gonna be in a room
Yeah. You
for
should
8
put this up
days.
to Rashika.
I am.
Okay.
No, I don't. Like, if it comes up.
Okay.
But no, because this is gonna happen. Like, if we get on a podcast, like it's always we've always
Are we gonna release the episode of that kid, by the way?
Which
The guy who's like gonna after college do something? I forgot.
the audio. I'll release it on Spotify.
Okay, but the video is bad.
The audio is bad
Oh, then why would you only release the audio?
because I don't want to release it on my YouTube channel.
Oh, okay, fair.
But I'd still. But I still want people to be like able to. I want to be able to spend. And I will time spend. I'm in his narrative writing class. So he's in my narrative writing class. The windshield wiper. No, but we've danced around this topic a bunch of times, right? And she's also done the whole like, but like it's a great illusion. And I'm just so angry because I'm like, you're so willing. That's what I don't get. And I mean, you did this too, fair enough. Like, I understand, but I also don't. It's like, you were all so willing to just accept that the stuff that seemed to matter most wasn't real, but all this other crap was.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah, like if you slapped me, that would have felt more real than 1 + 1 = 2.
yeah, but like this one, like
Yeah, but disregard that one, yeah. But that one, yeah. Yeah.
I just like this bothered me for
Yeah.
so long, and it's like thankfully, yeah. So,
Okay, dude, I think I have to fucking go to sleep.
yeah, I think so. I think so, dude.
Dude, we actually were, like, it's been 12 hours.
And not a single bit of content has been made.
Yeah.
Other
So
than
the guy's working on my script, so.
Alright.
And I made one earlier today. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what part of
You're the one practices. Alright. What's useful is